Alright guys, so it's March 28th and I never really thought I was going to say this, but the F80 M3 behind me is for sale. So I'm going to take a ride back home and we're just going to talk about it. Before we go, I'm not sure how this video is going to go, and this is probably a shocker for a lot of you people that have been following this channel for quite a bit. And I appreciate you guys following this channel and also supporting it. I'm gonna take this back to the studio, and you may have some portions back at Euromotive Performance. I'm gonna see how this video is gonna come out, but I'm gonna deep dive into exactly why I just said what I said earlier. This F80 M3 is for sale. I'm gonna list exactly what's included for the sale for the car, and also there's multiple options, right? So I'm gonna give you guys multiple options too if you guys are interested in purchasing this car, or if you know anybody that's interested in purchasing an F80 M3 that's dialed in. So let me head back to the studio and we'll talk about it. All right, you just saw the opening scene, you read the title, and you saw the thumbnail. This is not clickbait. Yes, my 2018 F80 M3 is officially for sale, and this is the video that's gonna be going over exactly what's for sale with the car. This is not an April Fool's joke. This is legitimate. This is something I've been planning since November of 2021. So I'll make a separate video exactly why, but this video entirely is gonna be talking about what's gonna be included with the car, modifications, no modifications. There's gonna be different price points for the potential owner. The BBS FIR wheels are not going to be for sale with the car unless the owner wants to pay what I want for the wheels, or the BBS LMs, that's separate. So if you guys are looking for a set of wheels, either one, let me know in the comments. I really don't want to ship, because shipping a really expensive wheel like that could get damaged in the shipping process, which I don't feel comfortable with yet. I really think that somebody in the South Florida or Florida region is willing to pick these up. So if I don't get any luck, then I will decide to ship it. But as of right now, I don't think I want to ship it yet. So going back into it, talking about wheels, on the next vlog, it's gonna be a vlog where I pick up the 437M wheels along with meeting some guys in Orlando, some of the Orlando boys. But the 437M wheels, just to give you guys an update, it is mint. The ones I picked up are mint. They have really good tires on them. They have Continentals, not the Michelins, but they have Continentals, and it's gonna be ready for the new owner, along with the 15mm spacers that I'll be putting on. And I think that's gonna really look good, the OEM Plus look. But if you guys are watching this and thinking like, Ken, why are you selling it? You just put the last modification on. And that was another hint too. The title said the last modification for the F80 M3, so that's another hint. So before we continue with the rest of the video, I want to thank our sponsors real quick, and that's Simply Carbon Fiber. So as you can see, Simply Carbon Fiber has always been a sponsor of this channel, and this is one of the first things they sent me over. This is Alcantara with real carbon fiber slim wallet. It does a great job of holding all of my cards. You can hold 6 different slots for your cards, IDs, concealed weapons permit if you guys are into that, and also it holds your cash easily. And when you look at this, I said it multiple times, when you look at their products, you know you're a car enthusiast by just looking at it. It's Alcantara and carbon fiber. I think this is a pretty dope wallet. I like this also with the money clip. I think the money clip is more versatile for me because I carry extra camera batteries. For some of you guys that don't carry extra camera batteries, definitely look into this one. Again, if you want to purchase anything from their website, you can use this discount code right over here, TDD10. It's going to save you 10% off on your next purchase. So other than that, let's jump back into the video and let's talk more about my F80 M3. So in this video, I'm gonna touch base on the current condition of the car, some of the mileage, and also some of the modifications on the car. And then on top of that, you're gonna see some overlapping B-roll, so you're not looking at my face the whole time. But we're looking at a 2018 Austin Yellow F80 M3. Current mileage is 34,300 miles. The car has no accidents. It's a one owner vehicle. I'm the only owner of the vehicle. It's a clean title. I have the title on hand, so you don't have to worry about the title coming in, all that stuff. It's gonna be a lot easier transaction. One of the big selling points, if you guys are looking for a car that's never been molested with tuning wise, this car has never been tuned. I know that there's bolt-ons on the car. I was more in it for the aesthetics. Obviously hearing the exhaust intake, that was my main thing. But like I said, I never really needed more power. I thought the F80 M3 was enough power for me. Not really into the crazy speeds. I'm not racing people. This car is mainly for going to shows and also for me to enjoy it, cruising around, taking pictures, taking videos, and that's my thing. You know, it may not be your thing, but it's definitely my thing. Which is why it's such a beautiful thing, because this car community is filled with different people. People like me, people like you that want big power, and also people that want this car eventually. So we'll get into it. So I'm gonna talk about the maintenance. Maintenance is probably something that you're worried about. If you guys have been following this channel, you know that I stay on top of the maintenance. This is something that's also listed in some of my videos down below, but the car has been maintained through Fort Lauderdale BMW, the dealership. I have all the records there that I could get for the new owner. And also all the modifications and also the extra oil changes that I've done in between oil services have been done at Euromotive Performance, which is a reputable shop here in the South Florida region. I could get all those invoices and those things for the new owner. And you can see the workmanship from that shop. It's all documented on these videos. I think one of the main guys that have been working on my car specifically is Marlon, and I mentioned it multiple times. Marlon is very OCD and very particular. He cleans things that doesn't need to be cleaned at all. In the last video you guys saw, he installed my agency power intercooler, and he cleaned the bottom of it. No one's gonna see that stuff anyway, but it's just him, his personality, and me personally, I would have probably done the same thing, and he cleaned it. So just shows how much this that type of person is and what type of people that work there. Obviously with the agency power, which we'll get into the modifications later, it was a coolant flush, brand new coolant flush, recently done, less than 1,000 miles. The car has also been using liquid moly and also Ceratec, which is a ceramic coating in for the engine bay, which allows more smoother operation for the vehicle, and I made a video about that. You can definitely check it in my other videos. So going into the maintenance, another thing that I've done to the car is brand new brakes and rotors. You have brand new rotors, brand new brakes onto the car, all OEMs, so that's something that you don't have to worry about in the future. Those things last for obviously 30,000+ miles, if not more, so correct me in the comments. One of the things I replaced too is going to be the steering wheel. The steering wheel, when I first got it, obviously was brand new. I've used some brushes in between that were too abrasive, and I've learned my lesson. Definitely use a more agitated soft brush, which I've been using. That's why I replaced the steering wheel itself. It's a brand new steering wheel. You'll see it, you'll feel it. It looks immaculate. I'm going to maintain it for the new owner. So those are some of the things that are maintenance wise. I do a weekly maintenance wash, if not every other week. And the way I wash it, which you can see my wash methods on the videos, is that I do the 2-bucket method, and I make sure that I try to avoid any marring, which is like light scratches, inducing any swirl marks. All that's being done in my wash methods. So we're gonna start with the exterior modifications. My car is obviously tinted. That's considered a modification. It's with XPEL Prime XR Plus, I think one of those names, but it's 15% all around, and also on the front windshield I have 70%. The reason why I did 70% is because I live in South Florida. The car is actually parked inside the garage most of the time, but at times where I'm driving it, or it's parked outside when, you know, at the supermarket or something like that, I had that for heat rejection and also protected from UV rays. And this is something that was documented with Alligator Window Tint, which is Obsessed Garage's favorite window tinter, and he does a really good job. So the whole front windshield is done with XR Prime Plus, 70%. It does a good job. It's not too dark where it seems like you have shade the whole time, but it's enough to feel like the heat rejection is happening. And also when you look for aesthetic wise, it's like a light shade, and it looks pretty cool on when you're taking photos and also when you're driving on the highway. Another thing too, we'll get into it, is going to be the front clip, including the front bumper, the hood, the mirror covers, the headlights, and the whole hood, not the half line, is all covered with SunTech PPF. PPF is paint protection film. That's one of the first things I've done to the car because I wanted to protect that front end. Obviously there's also rock chips that will go through some of that paint, but the car is pretty much protected in the front clip. The next thing I want to get into is going to be the M Performance front lip. This is OEM. This is something that's not aftermarket from different companies. The reason why I want OEM is because I want something that's more durable. It's polyurethane, I believe, and also it comes with the OEM carbon fiber splitters. So this is not the cheap stuff that you could get off, I'm not gonna say any brands, but it's not the cheap stuff you get off overseas. This is OEM, so the quality is there. Going over to the mirror covers. The mirror covers are OEM too, original manufacturer, carbon fiber mirror covers. Those are also protected, like I said, with paint protection film. Then you also have a trunk lip spoiler, which is something that is OEM. It came from factory, and that's with the vehicle. So tying it all in, we have the Vorsteiner GTS-V rear diffuser. This is one of my favorite rear diffusers because when you look at it straight back, it's just so stout. It just shows a lot of the beefiness that the rear end needs. Obviously the sides, the hips, you know, obviously the F80 M3 is really known for how wide it is. But when you look at it without the rear diffuser, in my personal opinion, I feel like it's lacking. I feel like with this Vorsteiner GTS-V rear diffuser, it ties it all in, especially with the exhaust, which I'll talk about it in the next section. The Vorsteiner GTS-V rear diffuser is high quality carbon fiber. The fitment is probably one of the best fitments you're gonna get. So if you're watching this and you guys already have F80 M3 or F82, F83, and you guys are looking for modification, that's one of the best high quality carbon fiber rear diffusers you can get. And also I made a video about that. It's gonna be in the description, or even in other other videos. Here's one of my favorite modifications I've done for the exterior is definitely the paint match Austin Yellow calipers. So when I was first talking to Euromotive Performance about paint matching my calipers, I thought of the idea because I've seen Lambos and Ferraris paint match, and I always thought it was a clean look. Having an Austin Yellow car, there's not a lot of options you could do. Obviously you could do black, you could do silver, which may not even look good, but I went with paint match. Paint match I think looks incredible. I think it's one of the best looking options for it, and that's what I did. So I did paint match calipers on the F80 M3, and also what it was done, it was not sanded down and painted on the car. It was literally sandblasted, bare to it, and it was done the proper way. So if you look at it in person and you look at it, for me to this day, it still looks brand new to me. It was clear coated multiple times, which was recommended from Dwayne, which is the owner of Euromotive Performance. And what I wanted to do was, instead of having the silver M logo stickers, I opted to have the black M logo stickers, which gives a nice contrast. And that's all done at Euromotive Performance. So they were the ones that installed it and also got that done. I think it looks incredible, especially when you're driving on the highway and also in photos. So we're gonna talk about the suspension. The suspension of the car could go with the car, could not go with the car. It depends on the potential buyer. So currently right now, I have the KW DDCs paired up with the ground control camber plates. I think this is one of the best combinations in my personal opinion. Obviously there's another guy that says Traxxas suspension. He's been saying it multiple times in my videos. I have no idea what that suspension is. I never heard of it. That potentially may be going with the car depending on what price point we could work out. In the end of this video, I'll talk about exactly what the car is listed for, with the modifications and also without the modifications. So something about the KW DDCs, the reason why I wanted to go for that, and I'll make it short and quick because I'll be here all day, is that the KW DDCs is something that I've always wanted because, don't get me wrong, it's a really expensive suspension. I think retail price is about $4,500. That's $4,500. And it shows why it's that, because when you ride in it, especially the height I'm in, it rides like OEM plus. I like leaving it in sport and also comfort. Even Sport Plus is not that bad. Sport Plus is like, it's still a good ride. And I can tell you this, going up to Orlando for the invasion of Orlando, I was actually talking to my fiance about it. I was like, you know, you haven't said anything bad about the suspension in quite a while. It's because I had the Bilstein B16s. Those are a great suspension too, but it was too rough of a ride. It was a lot of rebound to it. And going to the KW DDCs, It was a more of a comfortable ride. And the reason why it's $4,500 too is that it has the EDC capability, which you're allowed to change the modes from comfort, sport, sport plus. Again, there's a video about that on my channel. You can see exactly what my personal opinion about it is. But going on to the next is paired up with the ground control camber plates. It allows me to basically have a little bit more show underneath the hood, and also the capabilities of me adjusting my camber if I need to. Like I said, mentioned early in the video, I just picked up some 437M wheels, and those are pretty much really immaculate, and it's a really good condition. It was actually better condition than my other 437M wheels, which I sold about 2 years ago. It's gonna come with that, and also it's gonna come with H&R 15mm spacers for the front and rear. So now we're gonna get into the performance modifications. Again, like I said early in the video, this car has never been tuned. It's something that I never really thought the car needed. I thought the car had enough power. A lot of these modifications that you're about to hear and see in videos was more for aesthetics, more for how it sounds, and when I go to car shows, when you lift the hood up, it looks good underneath the hood. So the first one I want to talk about is the exhaust system. We have a stock downpipe that's paired up with the active auto work equal length mid pipe that's non-resonated, along with the AWE switch path. This combination was very unique because we had to basically go to active and get a custom connector pipe because it wouldn't fit properly. So those two, I think, is the best combination where it sounds amazing, especially with a stock downpipe. If you were eventually to tune your car or tune this car for the new owner with a catted downpipe, you know, the Jesse Cats, which is a high quality catted downpipe, which does an amazing job on keeping the flow and also keeping the smell, is something that you can get from Active Auto Work. I think that's gonna be a good combination. Something I've never done, which I never really have an interest into. Just to give you an idea of how much it cost, the AWE switch path was about $4,000, give or take. And then the Active Auto Work equaling mid pipe was about $1,500, give or take. So that alone is I guess you could say, a custom expensive setup. What really pairs up nicely with that whole setup is the Eventuri intake. Eventuri intake was something I always wanted. It looks amazing underneath the hood, and also it sounds amazing when you get onto the throttle. This is the version 2, not the version 1. So the version 2 has a little bit more enclosed housing. So there's more airflow going into their intakes, which end results equals a little bit more power from what they said. I've had those intakes for the last time I installed it, and it does an amazing job of keeping me entertained when I'm, on boost and on load. It sounds amazing. And it also, like I said, it looks amazing underneath the hood. So another modification that I've done was the Muscleman oil thermostat. This is more for aesthetics for underneath the hood, but it does an amazing job on keeping the car cool. And this is something I've mentioned in the video that I did for the Muscleman thermostat installation video, is that it lowers the temperature by a full bar, which in the long term, it's good for performance because the cooler the car runs, the more power it can induce into the engine. And also, living in South Florida at least, or if you live in a state where it's really hot, this is something that you want to keep the engine temperatures down, and it does an amazing job doing that. Paired up with, obviously, the last video you guys saw, if you haven't seen that, it's going to be the Agency Power intercooler. That alone has dropped the temperature actually some more. So those two combinations does a great job of keeping the car cool, especially when we're going into the summer times here in South Florida. But going back into the Agency Power intercooler, I got that powder coated, and like I said about the brake calipers, this was powder coated from Euromotive Performance, and what they did was they sandblasted it down, and they did all the necessary steps to repaint it the right way. And it's actually paint matched, and this is something like a theme I've done with the brake calipers and also with the intercooler. I personally, in my personal opinion, I think it looks amazing. I know I mentioned in the last video where the original color that I bought it with was I think it was like a black, and it was too dull. I needed something to pop underneath the hood, and having that there, it definitely showcased and also offsetted the engine bay. I think it looked amazing. This would go along with the new owner, and also I do have the stock intercooler too that would go with the new owner too. So I personally like the Arcade Titanium charge pipes. It has a really good look to it. It has a nice blue purple and kind of different unique kind of texture. onto the titanium. When you look underneath the hood, when you go to a car show, I know I had my hood up, and you know, at the Invasion of Orlando, people were definitely saying, wow, those look amazing. I definitely love the way they look. And this is more for aesthetics, because I'm on a stock tune. I don't need the extra protection, but I did on my F30, I did tune that car when I had the F30, and my stock charge pipes did blow, and it left me in limp mode. So having this as a preventative modification is a good thing too, because if the new owner does decide to tune the car, or it could happen. Stock cars, charge pipes could break. Probably unlikely for a stock tune, but me personally, and also for the new owner, it's a peace of mind for you to have. Those charge pipes are not cheap. You can look them up. But that really goes with all the performance modifications for the car. Like I said, the interior is pretty much stock. I do have the BAV Sound Stage 1 kit on the vehicle, along with the Ghost subwoofers. That was installed by myself. It looks stock because you can't see behind the door panels of the car, but it makes a big difference when you're driving long road trips. The crisp sound it gives, and also the way I kind of tuned it, the settings are amazing. It's crisp, and then when you have songs that are very bassy, when you want that bass to hit, it hits. Because underneath, if you didn't know, underneath the seats of the F80 M3, also the F8X platform, underneath the seat, they have little mini subwoofers, and those were replaced from the BAV Sound Ghost subwoofers, and they do adjust this. So just alone with that, I think was a good modification, and also a interior upgrade, because when I take some road trips during the time, it was nice to have the music blaring and also that crisp sound. Also wanted to include too into this video, as you can see from some of my previous videos, I'm not really into the track. I don't track my car, I don't autocross the car. This car is mainly for a car that I use to drive around, cruise around with, and also go to car shows. Again, this is a single owner vehicle, no accidents. I also want to include too that this car does have a carbon fiber roof. This was an option with the car with the moon roof. So if you're looking for a carbon fiber roof, this is your car. Again, a lot of people that did come to the Invasion of Orlando. If you guys did come to the show, let me know in the comments what you thought. Let me know what the condition is of the car, and if it really amazed you how good and how clean it looks. Again, I take care of this car. It's something that I like detailing, so it's more like my kind of forte, so to say. Other people have the need for speed. I have the need to just chill and just cruise around, so that's my thing. Again, if you guys are tuning in and you guys are just shocked about this announcement, again, this is something that, you know, hopefully it doesn't deter you guys from unsubscribing, but this is something that I wanted to do, and also it's something I've been planning since November. So now the question is, what price am I looking at? So now that you know it's a 2018 F80 M3, single owner, no accidents, clean title in hand, and you've seen the videos of how well the car is taken care of, there's history with service, so you know all that. You also know that there's a lot of modifications that are just bolt-ons with the car, you know, the price points. So now we're gonna talk about the price. There's gonna be two different price points, because I know a lot of people that are retail buyers are not gonna wanna buy a car with all the modifications, and there's gonna be others that just wanna buy it as is. So the as is price, minus the BBS FIRs and minus the BBS LMs, we're looking at $69,500. Okay, that includes all the modifications. The KW suspension alone is $4,500. Then you have the custom exhaust setup with the equal length mid pipe with the AWD switch path, which I think sounds one of the best. Like I said earlier, that alone, you're looking at almost $5,000. That's almost 10 grand right there. Obviously, you can look at the depreciation of the market. But this is something that when you own F80 M3, you're gonna wanna do suspension, and you're also gonna wanna do how the car sounds. I think those are the best two things, along with other freebies, are looking at the inventory intake. That alone is retail $2,000. You can add everything up. You're getting more than $10,000 worth of modifications, and these are modifications that are going to be enhancing your experience of owning the car. So I've used a different couple tools where I have friends that are in the industry and they use a lot of different pricing guidelines. If you want the car stock, I'm gonna price it at $64,000 or best offer. Again, I'm in no rush to sell the car. I have no timeline on when I could get rid of the car, but this is what I'm offering you guys, the ones that may potentially want to buy the car. Again, if you want to mix and match some of the modifications, we can do that too. If you guys have any questions or if you want to shoot me an offer, again, all my contact information is down below, along with you can DM me too. Again, title in hand, it's ready for the new owner. So other than that, any other questions, let me know. If you really think about the all-in price with the modifications, you're not talking about springs, like, you know, the stuff that just gets you aesthetically appealing. You're talking about high quality modifications, which is why I priced it that. And I still think that's a really good deal. It's, like I said, it's up to you at the end of the day where you value it. A lot of people would value it, a lot of people wouldn't. Again, this is what I'm offering for the price points. So again, if you guys are first tuning into this channel, again, this is my F80 M3, and this is something that I've always had a dream of, owning an F80 M3. I just feel it's the next step for me to move off from here and give somebody else the opportunity to own an amazing car. It's a car that I've enjoyed for the past 3+ years, and it's a car that has given me a lot more than what any other car can do. Again, without that car, I wouldn't have this channel. Without this channel, I wouldn't have you guys. And also when I go to these events, it's amazing to connect with you. So this car, for me, it means a lot more. So again, it hurts to me to say that I'm selling the F80 M3, but just know that there's bigger things coming for the channel. And if you guys are disappointed, I don't blame you if you want to, you know, unsubscribe. But if you're ready for the next journey, stay tuned. I have a lot more plans. And again, I've been planning this since November, so you will see some vlogs from November to the present day. And that's just how I am. I like to plan these things out, and you'll enjoy what's to come. And also you'll enjoy what's to come in 2022. So other than that, if you guys have any questions about the vehicle, if you guys want to ask me questions directly, DM me. If you have any questions, definitely leave in the comment. I'll be glad to answer them. Again, I want to thank you all throughout the support of building this F80 M3. I think it's time for me to move on to the next project. So I want to thank you all for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one.